We're live and we're in the flesh. Yes, no football matches is it has played because of international duty, but we're still going to be talking football anyway. And today's topic is about transfers. Transfer window is approximately just over a month away, and January is normally the time where you can turn your season around. And we're going to be talking about each position for each team and where they need to transfer or get certain players in to try to change their fortune. Maybe push for top four, maybe even push for the trophy, the league. But without further ado, let's get started. It's your boy Luke as always supporting the mighty Reds. We got Man City on Saturday. Again, lunchtime kickoff. The FA does not like us, but it is where it is. We're at the Etihad. We haven't won there in a year, but to be fair, all I'm hoping for is a draw because we already know that's going to be a difficult fixture. Margie, what are you telling me?
Yeah, all good, all good. Everything good over here. Uh, another big game on the weekend. Newcastle away, so it's looking like it's gonna be a weekend of big games, big matches, big teams, and all that. But yeah, and, international Borefest. A couple crazy things happened. If anyone caught what happened in against Brazil versus Argentina, that wasn't a match. That was a brawl out. First of all, in the stands, to be honest, the Brazilian police, them man are crazy. Them man were whacking them man up in the Argentina stand like it was nothing. You see the Argentina players trying to grab the button, saying "stop it" and everything. They came off the pitch, came on the pitch.
Martinez tried to fight one guy.
Yeah, that that was old school. That was 90s. The way the game played as well. After that referee lost that game because all the man were doing was just chomping each other and diving and all that. Yeah, that game shouldn't have carried on. To be honest, after an incident like that.
Yeah, word.
To be honest, but yeah. Yeah, not much happened over this period. The only thing is scaremongering with the news stories. Tottenham now are now another club that has allegations against them with this Jermaine Defoe situation. But yeah, all these clubs are dodgy. But the FA ain't going to do anything because the more clubs they get rid of, if they got rid of any of these clubs to relegation, then they're losing money. In the end of the day, that's the Premier League will lose money, the FA will lose money, and a lot of lawyers will be involved. So it's all good. But yeah, can't wait to talk on these transfers and what teams need coming up. January is coming very soon. It's nearly upon us. 1 month left, and we'll be there.
Yeah, word. We won't waste no time, and we'll get started with the top spot, the main team that's leading the pack and been leading the pack for a few years now, and that's Man City, of course. Obviously, with Man City, they managed to make their transfers, and at the start of the season, I know for me anyway, I thought that the transfer window was quite underwhelming. They got rid of the likes of Sterling, Mahrez, Gundogan. These are jigsaw, even Laporte. These are jigsaw pieces of quality, absolute quality. And I thought, bringing in Kovacic, I thought might be okay, but he's not a Gundogan type of signing. It wasn't a like for like replacement. I think I thought bringing in Doku, I knew about Doku when he was at Anderlecht. So for me, I thought, I didn't think that was a bad signing. But um, I think when they brought in Guardiola, I thought, oh, okay, yeah, decent, um, decent talent that can play left back and centre back. They needed that when just because they didn't really have a left back due to Mendy. Um, and then obviously Mahrez going, I thought, okay, well, someone who's very trickery, someone who's very skillful that can use the left and use the right foot. I didn't really think that Grealish was the answer for them. Foden wasn't playing that much, so I thought, are these signings going to be great? They didn't really bring in another centre mid to carry the load from Kevin De Bruyne. So I thought that. their transfer window was quite underwhelming, to be honest. But going into the season, they've obviously proven that they're doing well with the current signings that they've got, and the main standout performer has been Doku. He's been frightening. He's been putting fear in all of the fullbacks that he's come up against, bar one at the moment, which is Reece James. And it's been an interesting season for Man City in a sense where Pep Guardiola sort of adapted and changed the way how they've played. And Pep Guardiola has always been the type of person that normally adapts and changes, not say the philosophy, but just how they approach games. And it's probably why he's one of the best managers in the league and in the world. Um, and I just think for me, they've been great. The signings that he's brought in has obviously, made me change my mind in terms of the overall transfer window. But I do believe that they are missing a couple jigsaw pieces. I think for me, they are missing a centre midfielder to help Kevin De Bruyne, and it's been further apparent that the fact that they haven't had that Kevin De Bruyne signing has obviously meant that they've struggled in terms of certain aspects of their creativity. We think about games where they should have really dominated, they should have really won. The standout ones, such as like the Wolves match where they lost 2-1, or even like the draw that they had with Chelsea. They're missing that one key component in that midfield that can just unlock and consistently get the best out of Haaland. We can think about matches where Haaland has played and he's just been silent. It's been non-existent. No one's been able to make that final pass. No one's been able to look up and see that he's been on a run and they found him. No one's been able to be on the half turn in midfield, created that space for themselves, and then obviously allowed Haaland through on goal. It has been a struggle, I'll be honest with you. And without the likes of Doku having that frightening pace to obviously open up that defense, if they didn't have Doku, where would they be now in terms of their league position? So I do believe that's something that they need to go out and try and rectify. They did try to get Lucas Paqueta, and that obviously didn't go through. I think he would have been a fantastic signing for them. But it will be interesting. The thing that I don't want to do whilst doing this transfer talk is list the names and that I think will go there, because let's be real, there's a small pool of talent at the moment in world football. Let's be real, and we're probably going to be saying the same type of players for every single team. And I feel for me anyway, even if we were to name certain players, they're going to be up in the near 100 million mark. How many of the teams that we're going to be discussing can even afford it? So I think in terms of realistic transfers, I'm probably not going to suggest the names. I definitely will just say what position that they need to rectify. And for me, as I said, I think centre mid for Man City is an area that they need to focus on. And then on top of that, I feel like they should go out as well and sign a winger as well. I think having the likes of Doku on that left has opened their sort of playing style to a whole new level. And I feel like back in the day when we looked at Man City, they had the likes of Leroy Sane and Raheem Sterling and Kevin Sergio Aguero. That was frightening pace that they had. And I feel like Man City are probably one frightening winger away from really dominating every single game. I think the likes of Foden and Grealish is good, but I do believe that they don't have the pace to really run at and go at defenders in what Doku's doing. So I feel like if they were to sign, I don't know, like a Musa Diaby or like a Leon Bailey on the right and Doku on the left, I think it will be scary hours along with a centre midfielder that can unlock along with Kevin De Bruyne. I think it will be frightening. But you know what? What's your thoughts, Margie? What do you agree, or what positions do you feel Man City needs filling?
I agree with the two that you said. I think they do need a PMP winger on the right. I think that's it's shown with Doku that they can have you get the best of both worlds. So you get Doku and Grealish on the left, then you get the guy you bring in and Foden on the right. So if you want to do the possession game, you put Foden and Grealish in. If you're playing these low blocks or these teams where you just have to go at them, then you got your two PMP wingers that can just do a different style of football, and Haaland can adapt to that style. In terms of CM, I think they need more of a 10 type. They need the two positions I think they need in midfield is a backup cam and a backup DM. Because De Bruyne is like a cam slash right mid, so they need someone that can unlock the pass, as you said, like that. But they also need a guy that can replace Rodri when he does go down or gets injured, because they it's obvious that the manager doesn't believe in Calvin Phillips and he's gonna go. So you need to bring in someone young, 18 to 20, that can learn from Rodri and do the same thing that Rodri did with Fernandinho, learn from the older statesman and then replace him over time. So I think three positions that they clearly need to add to. I think with the Cam and the DM, they need to go young, under 23. With the winger, they can afford to have a bit of experience. Even bringing back Sane would be a good shout for them if he wants to come back home. So yeah, I think those are the three things they need. Two are backup choices, so they're not desperate. But the PMP winger, I think, is desperate for them, because I've seen a lot of games where Doku's doing too much on the left side, where if he gets locked up, there's not a guy on the other side that can do the same thing. And sometimes Doku's coming up. The right back position is probably the best position, one of the best positions in this league in terms of there's a lot of quality right backs. You've got your Reece James, your Trent, then you got Trippier, then you got stuff like that. On the left back side, there isn't as much quality, so a PMP right winger is going to be frightening for most teams. So I think left back isn't as wide as deep in this league as the right back position. So that's what I think would benefit the most. I think the the cam position won't be a big of a deal, in my opinion. I think if they said they can only sign two guys, for me it's a right winger and a DM, because you saw the difference night and day with Rodri, without Rodri, and you can't afford to have that as Man City if you're gonna go for everything. They've done the trouble; they need to do similar again. So in order for them to keep those standards when Rodri is out, they need a guy that they can rely on to come in and sort that out. But yeah, apart from that, I don't think they need much else. I think they need to start scouting for their next manager, because there's only so long Pep will probably stay in the league, and I think that's another thing that a lot of teams may have to look at as well. And I think Man City need to look at who's going to be the next guy, and if he's going to be available by the time they need to bring in the next guy as well. So I think, are they going to look to Vieira? Are they going to look to Arteta? Are they going to look to Zerbi? They're gonna have to. They're gonna need to decide, because I think Pep's only probably got a couple years left, because he's done everything he needs to do. He's won the CL. If he wins another one, I think he's probably just gonna move on and do maybe international, or go back home to Spain and help Barcelona out. Because let's be honest, that's his real love, Barcelona and Spain and stuff like that. So that's what I think.
Yeah, I think we'll move down the table to second place, which is Liverpool. Obviously, it's a known fact what they need. I don't even need to say much, to be honest. I know my club, in terms of um, two standout positions. The rest is probably optional. They're not really optional, but over time we can invest. But the two standout position is a DM and a centre back. It's a known fact that Liverpool need a number six. I've been saying it for years. We've been seeing it for years, and it was either ever more apparent last season that we needed a number six. Obviously, with the stopgap of Endo being there, or McAllister being there, or whoever's playing it, should only be a short-term option. I think January, Liverpool will always be in top four this season. There's no doubt about that. But if Liverpool want to push on to win this league, or even the Europa League. I think that sixth position needs to be key in January. It should be one of the main important areas, um, because we've seen it when Liverpool have a solid CDM. When Fabinho was on song, we were unplayable in midfield. We really were. We controlled every single game, and we were just unplayable. No team wanted to play against us, and I just feel that we are that position away from going on and really pushing Man City to the limit again. And then the second position is a centre back. You know, it's a known fact that we've just got nothing but injury prone centre backs. It would be great to potentially buy two centre backs, but obviously, right now, we can't really afford to go out and spend 80 to 100 M's on centre backs. So, you know, slowly but surely by each transfer window, I think we do need to get one in the January. I think Van Dijk is obviously been on a renaissance this season, and fair play. You know, someone of his age at 31, I wouldn't have thought that he would perform the way that he did, especially given he had such a serious injury. But he's found a new lease of life, But personally, I do believe that he needs someone to be a backup to him, just to offer a bit of competition. You know, if he does need a bit of rest, we need that left-sided CB, especially if Robertson is going to be at left back. I feel like Robertson's lost his athleticism, and that's one of Robertson's special, or would I say his key attribute when it comes to him playing that left back role is his athleticism, and I do believe he's declining, and I feel like Van Dijk can't cover him like he used to. So I do believe we need a younger left-sided centre back. Again, as I said, the quality out there is very dire. So I can't even say who I want there, but I just want someone who's at least 6'2" and above, someone that's strong, someone's recovery that's like prime Joe Gomez recovery, someone's pace that's on another level. That is what I need. Outside of those two positions, though, we need a cover left back and we need a cover right back. You know, if Trent's long-term position is to be in the center of midfield, then ideally, long-term wise, we need to start planning for that, and that means bringing in a right back that's going to push Trent to come out of that position to be in centre mid. We saw it this week. He made a comment to the reporter saying that he prefers to be in midfield. He enjoys being in midfield. He likes the idea of controlling games, being on the half turn, unlocking defenses. You know, that is what he wants to do. And if that's what he wants to do, then Klopp needs to think long term to try and accommodate that. I feel like Trent's never had competition at right back, and I feel that's probably why he's been complacent over the years and has dropped below five performances. But I do believe if Liverpool are serious, I think going into the summer, not January, but into the summer transfer window, I feel like we need to go out and sign a cover right back. Again, it's very difficult out there, as I said, in terms of finding the correct talents for that position. But you know, there's nothing wrong in doing what we did with Andrew Robertson and going into the championship for that matter, and signed in a fullback that way, or, you know, going, I don't know, to like Eastern European League, or I don't know. Like, there are gems. If Brighton can find gems and Wolves can find gems, then I'm sure we can find gems. So that's what I think we need. You know, centre back, CDM, and then optional in the summer transfer window, both fullbacks.
I agree with the DM. I think DM is the most important. I think CB is probably going to wait till the summer because I think you'll probably let go of Matip and maybe even Gomez in the summer. So I think you'll do what you normally do, sell one, buy one in. So I think summer is more likely where you're going to get the centre backs. For me, I think for the rest of this season, I think it's a DM and a right back because at least with Simicast, you have someone that can cover that position when needed be for a couple games and still provide similar level. You don't have that on the right side. Joe Gomez at right back has shown time and time again that he's not good enough. So I think right back would be more important at this stage than the centre back Because if you look at the likes of Gomez and Matip, they've done well this season when they've played. They look a bit better as well. So they look like, especially Gomez, he looks like he's got over his injury woes. So hopefully, if he's able to stay fit for the rest of the season, then it will be a problem that you don't really need to address until the summertime. But DM is the main aim, and then I think a right back would be something that I would look into as well, because I think there's going to be times where Trent isn't going to be able to fill that position because one, his defensive capabilities aren't of that level, so you need maybe some more defensive minded, and two, as you said, he wants to roam into midfield. Why not put him in midfield sometimes as well? He could be an option that can play centre mid as well, and offers you different options in that sense. And I think that's a thing that you haven't done for years. You haven't had a backup right back in years, and the ones you've had, you've let go. So, the young kid to Nottingham Forest, I think that wasn't a very good decision if you weren't going to bring someone in. So, yeah, that's about it. But yeah, we know DM, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah. We'll move on to the team in third, which is your rival. Do you want to talk about your team, your rival? You know, your defense is in trouble. Nketiah's in the room. Let's start
Yeah.
off with that.
Now we all know what they need, man. They need a striker. I mean, their defense is fine. Actually, no. They need actually they need a striker, a left centre mid, and not sure, and maybe a left back. Maybe a left back because they don't have anybody apart from Zinchenko. But the main two for me, I think the Kai Havertz experiment has failed. Um, the fact, you know what? Actually, put him a left back. He did well for Germany.
But he also caused a goal to happen against
Yeah,
Germany as well.
who cares, fam? He's tall, lanky, and he's good on the ball, fam. Put him left back. But you do need a yeah. So left back sorted. You got Kai Havertz, fam, multi-talented. But yeah, no striker, left centre mid. In terms of striker name, we know the striker that they should bring in. Ivan Tony should be the number one name on the list. And left centre mid, I think you can go cheap with this option. I think there's a lot of talented centre mids in the French and German league that you can get for 20 to 30 M's, even in January. So I think there's plenty of options in left centre mid, and I think you just need someone that's just good at their job, that gives you a 6 to 7 out of 10 every week, rather than someone special. You don't need special. You got special with Saka, you got special with Odegaard, you got special with Martinelli. You just need a guy that can allow for the team to have balance. And because of parties, injuries, and stuff, it can't be him. So put Rice in the six, get you a left centre mid, have Odegaard, then your front three speaks for himself with Ivan Tony, Martinelli, Saka, Gabriel Jesus, if at false nine, if needed be in certain games, and you can compete for the league. If you don't get a striker and a left centre mid, it's long. You may even finish fifth or sixth. So that's what I'm going to say. I think those two positions are main, and then in the future, the fullbacks they might have to look at. But for now, yeah, left centre mid striker, and yeah, move Kai Havertz to left back permanently.
See, I'm indifferent. Like, I think they need another centre back. I'm not a believer in Gabriel. Never have, never will be. I think he's dead. To me, I just feel like he reminds me of David Luiz, someone who's very inconsistent defensively. The only thing good about David Luiz was the fact that he was a proper baller, and you can tell he was Brazilian. You know, put him in midfield and he'll ball out. You know, Gabriel is completely different. I feel like he's terrible. I don't feel like he's got the PMP. I feel like defensively he's a liability to Saliba. I feel like Saliba has to baby him sometimes. And I just feel like when you look at that goal that he conceded at Newcastle against Joe Linton, you know, where was the PMP? A real man like Saliba, if he was in that position, would have handled Joe Linton. He wouldn't have allowed Joe Linton to jump on his back or push his head like that. And I just feel like I just feel like for me, like Gabriel needs to be replaced. And I feel like Saliba needs a proper centre back next to him. You know, we look at the likes of Van Dijk and Joe Gomez, you know, them two in their prime, proper centre backs. No one could get past them because they had P for days. The recovery was a madness. And I just feel like Saliba is probably one centre back partner away from unlocking his actual true potential. I feel like he's got it and he is it, but I feel like he just needs that partner to take him to the next level. So for me, I feel like they need to go out and sign a centre back. I feel like they're also missing a CM, like you said, Marju. But I do believe that they're missing that CM next to Declan Rice. I feel like they messed up with that Kai Havertz deal. Obviously, it's great for Chelsea. You know, they fleeced them the way that they did, and they've been known to fleece in Arsenal every single season.
Pay
You
up,
know,
baby.
the list goes on. Like Arsenal always give Chelsea their ballers, but Chelsea always give Arsenal their has-beens, and it's just a known fact. And I just feel like for me, that's an L that Arsenal need to take. I feel like Odegaard has proven this season that he needs that support. And normally, if you're gonna play a three-man midfield, then the normal general consensus is that one of the midfielders needs to be sort of like a box to box or a defensive type of midfielder. The other midfielder needs to be a ball carrying midfielder from midfield, from deep. That's going to allow the number 10 to do the roaming role, which is what Odegaard is doing. No one in this Arsenal midfield can do that ball carrying position, can do that number 8 from midfield. They can't. And I feel like that is where Arsenal are failing game upon game. Odegaard can't do it by himself, and we're seeing it in every single game where, more often than not, Odegaard has been quiet for a lot of Arsenal games right now, which is why they've been struggling in certain matches. And I feel like if Arteta had was smart in the summer, instead of getting Kai Havertz and forcing him in that eight, they should have gone out and bought an actual proper eight. You know, Ruben Neves was there, he was available, and I'm pretty sure he openly said he wouldn't have mind to go. You know, that's a proper eight right there that can really be that key cog between defense and attack. And I just feel like that's the type of player that Arsenal are missing and that they need to go out and get in January. You know, I have seen that they have been rumored to get Ruben Neves on a loan. Go out and do it, you know, literally go out and do it, because he will be the difference between you not making top four and making top four. Um and also I agree with the striker. They are missing that striker, you know. How can your striker this week come out and say, I know I struggle to score goals. Scoring goals is not my strong suit. That is your striker, you know. How is he coming out and saying that, bro?
I
What,
work at Sainsbury's, so I struggle to stack shelves.
fam? That's how you know he's not Brazilian, you know. Do you really think guys like Adriano and R9 Ronaldo are saying stuff like that? Them man ain't saying stuff like that. They're not. They believe in their source. Even if they don't score a goal, they're still gonna attempt to score one, bro. Man, them like R9 and Adriano struck fear in defenses. Struck fear the minute they went on that pitch because they knew that they were Brazilian. They knew. Gabriel Jesus is out here saying, I know I struggle goals. And that's something, yeah, that, you know, I struggle in doing and I can't do it. What do you mean? Your job is to score goals, bro. And this is the difference. Arsenal have failed to replace Thierry Henry. Failed. Even when they had Olivier Giroud. And I always thought that he was an underrated player. They didn't appreciate him. The minute he went to Chelsea, he was appreciated. Scored them Europa Leagues and everything. And that's the problem. Arsenal have yet to find that replacement. And even if I was Ivan Toney, I would even go to Arsenal. I'll be real. I wouldn't. Because what? You have the likes of Eddie Nketiah, Gabriel Jesus, and now me, Ivan Toney. So I'm having to fight these men to start. Nah, I'm good. I'd rather go to a team where I know I'm going to be a guaranteed starter. You know, teams like Tottenham, who need a stop putting Human Song in striker, put him at left wing to go to Tottenham, or even flipping Chelsea. Chelsea need a Don Dada number 9. I go there because I know Nicholas Jackson isn't gonna go above me. I know I'm better than him. So that's what I would be doing. I'd go after Ivan Tony. I'll go get a number 8 and I'll get a centre back and then all is good. I would even get a right back because Timber's obviously injured. So I know that right back sorted. Timber can play centre back and right back. I need that versatility. So that's fine. Obviously left back is still a bit iffy, but that can be rectified in summer. But for me in January, those 3 positions are probably what I'm looking at. um, but let's move on to the next team that's in fourth, and that's another rival. That's another London rival to you. You know, what do you think Tottenham need?
Um, Tottenham actually need to wait till the summer before they do their big things because they need to get rid of a lot of their players. But I think for now, a short-term fix for them would be the striker and maybe another quality midfielder in the attacking positions because you could see that without James Madison, they have no creativity. So I think they need another one like that. Hell, if they need a cheap option, bring back Deli Ali. Return of the goat. Um, and then up front, yeah, man, yeah, striker, Ivan Tony, whatever, man, whatever strikers are available. Even Ollie Watkins would be a good deal for them. I think he'd be the kind of striker they should get because it'll be a decent value. He'll probably want to move because of London. Um, and he'll have fun there. He can play football one weekend, and on the Sunday he can watch the wrestling. He can watch Beyonce. He can do the go karting. He can go up so he's got plenty of options. Like man can just chill at the stadium on the weekend. You know what I mean? One day play football, the other day do some activities. You know what I mean?
This
So
guy's a
he'll have a
fool.
whale of a time over there, them sides there. And then London hit the clubs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Meet up with the Arsenal boys. Say, yeah, we meet you this weekend. Them things there. So yeah. Plus, I think it will be a lot better for his England circumstance if he's at a Tottenham rather than a Villa when it comes to picking the teams because they seem to have this top team bias, and Tottenham looking like a top team at the moment, a team that could finish top four. And I think, yeah, man, if they have a striker and an attacking mid that can offer them a bit creativity when Madison's not around, then they'll be fine. But it's going to be a hard time for them because they're not getting their team fully back till February because January they're losing guys to the African Cup of Nations and then a couple guys are coming back in January. So you ain't going to see the real Tottenham again probably till February. So depends if they think it's the striker is the big deal because Richarlison, I mean, talking about another Brazilian striker that them man are from Peru, Peru, Peru. They are no Brazilian fake passports. We know your games. Oh, fam.
Fam, they're
Hon-
Ethiopian, fam. That's where they are,
Yeah,
man. They're gonna be in African Cup of Nations, fam. That's where they're getting,
exactly.
bro. They ain't Brazilian out here.
Playing for Eritrea and Somaliland and that. Them fake Brazilians there. Peru. What a bum. What a bum. Anyway, yeah, no, yeah, strike is definitely what they need.
Yeah, yeah. No, I totally agree. Like for me, I'm with you on that. I think yeah, the in terms of big business, defo in the summer. But the scary thing about it, which we touched upon, is Daniel Levy even gonna go out and spend the peas to get anybody? Do you know what I mean? Like we know that he's a tight ass. He's probably more tight than Arsenal from back in the day. So I think we know what the issue is for Tottenham. Whether they're gonna go out and spend in January, I do not know. And as you rightfully said, a couple of their big hitters are out till the new year, and then they're gonna lose a couple more man to AFCON. So yeah, it's gonna be peak for Tottenham. I think it's sad because I liked where Tottenham were going this season. I think their players needed to calm down though, because them man were celebrating against Liverpool, like say they won the league. So I think they needed to calm down. But I just think that's when them ones when you've never won a trophy before in how many years, you just started to just celebrate anything, fam. Any sort of win is a trophy win. Do you know what I mean? So but I think they needed to calm down. But I was actually looking forward to seeing what Tottenham could do with a fully fit squad week in week out. Obviously it's not a possibility, but 100% I think a striker is definitely something that they need to invest in. I think at the moment, short term wise, Human Song is obviously doing his thing, and that's good. But I do believe he's needed out wide to allow someone who can dominate in the paint, as they say, in the 6 yard box, like Ollie Watkins or Ivan Tony. I think someone who's a predator and has experience in that position. I think, yeah, that's a position that they need right now. To be fair, and anything else is probably just going to be as we said, a summer signing. So, an addition to James Madison, a number 10, or even a number 8. Um, that can help out James Madison. I think their centre back pairing outside of the two that they got are decent, but I do believe the other two need to be shifted on. So if they can bring in another solid centre back, that would be good. And the fullbacks that they got right now are calm. The goalkeeper's calm, so they've got a decent foundation. I just think everything else is probably more bench wise that they probably need to facilitate in terms of the January or summer. But yeah, we'll move on to Aston Villa, and then we have two more clubs to discuss. Obviously, Aston Villa are doing fantastically well, to be fair. Um, I'm happy with the direction that they're going in. And personally, at the start of the season, they were getting butchered left, right, and center. Even the likes of when they played against Newcastle, they got slapped differently, but I feel like they've learned from that and they've started to grow as a team and as a cohesive unit. And they're playing fantastic football. Their wide areas is strong. The striker is strong. Their midfield is decent and strong. They pretty much got P and P in abundance in that team. Um, for me personally, though, I think moving forward, they probably might need to sign one more centre back. I think Paul Torres is good. I think Consar is good, but I do believe they probably need to sign another solid, strong centre back to partner either one of those guys. I think Tyrone Mings is good, but he's getting on in age, and I feel like someone else needs to come in and step in, like a Konate figure or like a Badashile, someone strong and hench. I think that's someone that they need in the centre back position. I think overall, though, they're not lacking in creativity. I think they know how to break a team down. The wide areas, they got it on point, and they've got a solid striker that will back them their 15 goals. So for me, I feel like their team is decent. I just feel like slowly but surely they probably need to buy backups of decent quality so that one can go out, one can come in, and their actual playing style doesn't change or the actual form of the team doesn't change, because now we should be starting to think about Aston Villa breaking into that Europa League consistently and then eventually going into the top four if they can do it. So I think, yeah, overall, out of all of the teams that we are discussing, I think Aston Villa is probably in a position where they've actually got a complete team, in my opinion. Um, but again, as I said, the only possible jigsaw missing piece is potentially their centre back. But other than that, I think they're in a good position, and it's going to be very scary because we're only in November. They've got the piece to go out and spend. They've got a decent manager who I thought is or think is underrated and was treated very badly at Arsenal. Obviously, right man, but wrong timing. But they're gonna do well this season, 100%. But what's your thoughts, Marju?
Gonna keep it short and sweet. They just need to keep their players. I don't think they need to add at the moment. They can wait till the summer to do that. They just need to keep their players, keep them fit, and yeah, just look to carry on what they're doing and see how far they can get, what position they can get at the end of the season, and then add from then. If they get Champions League, they have more money in the kitty to spend. If they're in Europa League, they got certain money. So yeah, depth is the only thing they need to worry about, probably. But even then, they've got some good depth in. I looked at their last team, their bench was decent enough. So they've got 12, 13 players that they can rely on. So yeah, they just need to maybe add when the time comes, when Tyron Mings goes, when the likes of Lucas Digne and the older players start to move on, then maybe get the right replacements. But apart from that, I don't think. I think they just need to stop the vultures from coming round, because when a team does good like Aston Villa, that's when the big boys come around and the Watkins get taken, then the Tielemans gets taken, then another guy gets taken, because these players are only as good as they can be in that team. But then they look around, they say, "Oh, I want to go London. Oh, I want to win titles. Oh, I want to do this and that." And then that's when other teams start swooping in, like Birdman, and go, "All right, how much?" Put the money on the table and say, "All right," and we're taking your man, and it's good day, good night. So they just need to back Emery, and I think they'll be all right. That's about it.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, we'll move on to the next team. I don't really even want to spend long on this team. I think we talk about this team nearly every week, and we banter about this team nearly every week. I think you guys know who we're talking about, and that's Manchester United. I think it's a known fact what they need. They need a deconstruction of every single position. I think every single position probably needs to be looked at in terms of removal. I think out of everybody that they've got, I think the only person that needs to stay, in my opinion, is Hoyland. I think he's got the potential. There's a ceiling there, and I think with the right guys behind him, he will go clear. I think he hasn't had the best of service, but when he's been in positions, you're thinking, you know what, this kid is. He looks like he's going to be something special, and I always think that whenever I see him on the pitch, it's just the service that's been lacking. But United need at least 4 to 5 transfer windows, and the problem that Manchester United have, which we've stated before, is the players are on big wages and it's going to be hard to shift them. And when players are on big wages and they're not on good form, and United are probably going to be asking for big piece for them, it's just not going to happen. Like, these teams are looking at Manchester United players and being like, well, you're not worth 50, 60, 70, 80 M, so we're not going to pay that. Your wage is too high, so you're definitely going to need to take a pay cut because you're not performing at the level where you deserve that wage. And number two, are you essentially just going to be a cancer that's just going to infect the team morale when you come here? And that's the problem that they have. They can't shift the guys that they got, and no one in the Premier League is willing to even pay or even grab those guys. So essentially, they're probably hoping that a Saudi club comes in for them or even a foreign club comes in for them. But then why should a foreign club go for them when they probably have scouts in other teams in the Premier League that will probably be better suited? So it's sort of like a merry-go-round for Manchester United. And I think, I'll be honest, it's not essentially players that they need. They need a DOF to come in January. That would be the biggest transfer window for them, a DOF, because we could sit here and say United needs this, United need that, but United is probably spent the most money out of all of the clubs in the Premier League right now. I think they've spent more money than Man City and Chelsea. So I think for me, forget about going out and spending, go out and get a DOF. That is my recommendation. Go out and get a DOF. Plan from January all the way to May. Sit down with a blueprint, with a plan, and map out who you're going to get rid of and who you're going to bring in. Use that 6 months to do your data research, your analysis, everything that you need to go out and utilize the summer window as an opportunity for you to get rid of everybody that needs to be getting rid of and bring in who you need to bring in. That is what I think they need to do. What do you think, Margie?
They need I agree. They need a Chelsea summer. We got rid of guys that people said, "Oh no, you shouldn't get rid of him." What they doing now? Like Jose Mourinho said, when they leave this club, see where they play, see if they play, see how they play. All these men we got rid of. Havertz, bench bomb. Mount, bench bomb. Lukaku's doing all right, but he's getting his money, his price up. His price went up. So Roma, spend the P. Money coming in, ching ching. Anyway, but yeah, no, a lot of these man, a lot of these man just had to go. I think United need a DOF. They need a new everything. They need a new DOF, and then that DOF needs to hire a new manager, and that manager and DOF needs to work together to say, okay, every player is for sale. There should be no one in that team that is safe. Not even Hoyland. I don't care. I'm gonna be ruthless 100%. What do I want as a manager and a DOF? What is my style of football that I want? And if this player doesn't meet that style or criteria, get rid of him for any price. I don't care. If you have to make losses, make losses. I don't care if you have to sell them for biscuits, for chips, for some Skittles, for M&Ms, a couple Cokes, a couple cans. I don't care what you have to sell them for. I don't have to sell them in a back alley, sell them in Saudi, sell them in China, sell them in India, go America, go Brazil, Argentina, wherever you have to go to sell them, go sell them. Go UAE, go Qatar, go Kuwait, whoever's got money, just Harry Maguire for sale, 5 million. Good. Gone. Send him back to Hull. Send him back to their former club. What's his name? Wan-Bissaka back to Crystal Palace. He can be with the Mandem, balling out and them thing there over there. Because reality is United have a bunch of players that aren't United players that don't have the mentality, that are leaking stuff to the press, that are soft every time they get touched up a little. Every time a manager tries to come in and say this is the rules and this, then they start acting like little bitches. So as far as I'm concerned, no one is safe, and the fact of the matter is, any player that's there right now is being made rotten by the players that have been there for time, that have let down manager after manager after manager after manager. The fact is, if you're on like a Tottenham kind of result list, like Conte, Mourinho, Louis Van Gaal, like most of these managers didn't win anything big with you. You're moving like Tottenham. And you're Man United, biggest club in England, probably second biggest right now because Liverpool are moving up. So, but yeah, debate. But yeah, I think January they might as well forget about it. There's no point wasting money on a manager that's probably not going to be here next season, in my opinion. And Big Jim, you need to come in with the balls, the cojones, and you need to get yourself a DOF. Tell him, find me a manager, and then tell him, yeah, man, here's a blank check. Whoever you want to sign, you sign. Whoever you want to let go, you let go. Even if you have to bring in, even if you have to go for a Mbappe as well, do it. He's available and free in the summer. You're Man United. That's a club that he would want to play for. Imagine that, United City, Mbappe versus Haaland. Those are the storylines and history moments that you can make if Man United start acting like Man United, and that's about it.
Yeah, I agree. And let's close on one final team, which is Newcastle United. Obviously, Newcastle United is in an era at the moment whereby they haven't really spent their powers yet. I'm still yet to see them splash out 100 M's on someone. Maybe they're biding their time, maybe they're waiting. But I think Newcastle are probably one superstar away. I think for me, they've gone out and they signed guys that has obviously assisted with Eddie Howe's philosophy. I feel like the guys that he signed has obviously worked and they're doing big business. I just feel like they're probably one superstar away from all the players to come. You always think of, oh, let's go out and buy one superstar, and that one superstar is the reason why everybody all joins. You look at the likes of Liverpool. They had Steven Gerrard. Everybody went to Liverpool because Steven Gerrard. He's an idol, he's an icon. You look at Chelsea. The likes of Lampard and John Terry. You wanted to be a part of that big dressing room. with leaders. You look at Arsenal, Thierry Henry, everybody wanted to go to Arsenal because of Thierry Henry, you know, and I feel like Newcastle are probably one superstar away from having that sort of effect, in my opinion. I do believe that, you know, Eddie Howe is building something, and I think he's played that smart approach in knowing that the cash is there, but only utilizing it if he actually needs it. I think he's going out in those transfer markets and attacking it in a sense where I'm trying to build a team, and the players that I'm trying to bring in are going to be shaped and molded as a team, so that when we go out on that pitch, we play as a team and play proper football, and I like that. I like the approach that Newcastle are going in. I think my only advice to Newcastle is eventually at some point, you are going to have to buy a superstar. You are, because you can't have that sort of money, and you can't claim to be a big club and want to go on and win stuff if you don't have that one superstar. Like you do. You need one. Fuck it. Go out and get Mbappe. Like he's free. You got the peas. You're able to facilitate his wages. Go out and make a statement and do it. I know he ain't gonna go to you, but at least be brave and bold and attempt to do it. Do you know what I mean? So I think for me, like the players that they got, as I said, is decent. And I believe they've got unsung heroes in their team as well. They're like the guys like Dan Burns and like Kieran Trippier, you know, even Anthony Gordon. I didn't even expect Anthony Gordon to be doing well for them, but he is. So they got the unsung heroes there. They got the actual like world class players in Bruno Guimaraes, Isaac, proper decent players, Sandro Tonali. But as I said, they're missing that one superstar, that one Don Dada, that one Baders, that teams will look at Newcastle and be like, you know what, we got to take them seriously. What's your thoughts, Margie?
For me, for Newcastle, I don't think they need to buy superstars. I think they need to, use the system. I mean, they got the Saudi Pro League. They can get all the top 27 to 30-year-olds to go there and then loan them in. That's what I'd be doing. Because FFP isn't going to allow them to spend the money that they want to spend. So they got to be very clever with what they do. So they need to either get young talent around 50 to 60 M's each, like they did with Tonali, kind of like that kind of level of talent. But if they want superstars, the 27 to 30-year-old superstar, just send him to the Saudi league. Let him, live the high lifestyle, give him some stupid wages over there, and then loan him in. 0% commission, fam. And they can get away with it now because they ruled against it. So, you know what I mean? That's what I'd be doing. As soon as Neymar's fit and available, hey, Neymar, do you want to do 6 months in the Premier League? Let's see how good. Ronaldo, hey, you want to come back? We just need a couple goals here and there. Hey, Mane, you want to go up against Mo Salah one more time to show him who the real African king is? Yeah, no, you know what I mean? Make storylines. You know what I'm saying? Newcastle need to be shameless with it. I'm gonna lie to you. They need to act like they know what they're doing, but they do not care. But yeah, that's for me. Yeah, for me, I think when it look at their team, I think they've got some good pieces, but I think they've kind of slowed down this season, especially around their defensive position. And I think the squad itself needs a bit more substance because they've lost a lot of players. And you even saw Trippier say, "Oh, we got no players left. We got no players." But you're a big club now. You can't be complaining about injuries like that. No sympathy for you. But yeah, I think they just need a couple more. They need a couple. They need a midfielder. They need a centre back at most. So for me, um, Koulibaly and Ruben Neves is available for loans. So it's bringing them in 6 month team. That's what I'd be doing. Whatever centre backs available in Saudi Pro League, bring him in. Bring in Ruben Neves for free, and then maybe spend maybe Koulibaly if you can't afford to buy someone in, because I think FFP is going to stop them from wanting to do what they want to do. I think their main aim should just be the youth system. making their youth system as good as Chelsea's and City's and even Liverpool's, so that they have that they can make money off their young talent, because that's what these big teams do eventually. City and Chelsea now are okay with FFP because anytime we get in a stitch, we're like, okay, all right, number one after available. Yeah, Villa. We got a young guy, 2020, top left back. How much? 20, 25 mil? Yeah. All right, cool. Straight, straight plus on the FFP. Um, so that's another thing that they need to do. They need to, use the system in their favor. So FFP. So they need to have youth talents that they can get rid of for straight FFP plus, and use the loan system through this Saudi Pro League and be shameless with it, and realize they are an oil club. Um, and yeah, that's what they are, man. Oil City, baby. Oil United.
Yeah, and then that's pretty much it, people. You
I
know,
do want to quickly talk about a couple teams before we go, including my own, if I can, if I may.
what's that?
Um, for me, Brighton and West Ham, the rivals, them two, I think they just need to keep their players, and I think them two are dark horses to me for Europe. I think they both have good teams, decent managers as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. But for my team, we need a striker as well, and I truly believe we need a winger. We need a striker and a winger. I think we lack creativity in the attack. We lack goal scoring, and I think we need a creative winger and a striker. I say Jadon Sancho, but someone of that ilk, and an Ivan Tony or Osman or whatnot. Osman is looking likely, but he might be a summer thing. But if we can get in January, um, we're looking at that. You know that guy Don, the Napoli Don.
From Napoli, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna lie. Trying to do a double soup on Napoli, that's about 300 mil right there. So, you know what? Screw it, do it. FFP, you can worry about FFP later because they ain't doing nothing. Yeah, they ain't do nothing to us. Yeah, that's right. Big ballers out here, fam. Pay the fine, and yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Alright, cool. Well, yeah, as I was gonna say, Premier League is back finally. I don't believe we're gonna have another international break until maybe 6 weeks time, which is great because it means uninterrupted football, and we can now start to see where the Premier League is going to take shape, because normally December is when we see where teams are going to be finishing. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to my game at lunchtime. To be fair, I just want to draw. I know we're not going to win, but I just want to draw, because that draw could make the difference between the end of the season. So yeah, man, that's all I'm looking for. And yeah, I'm gonna sign out from my side.
Yeah, man, big games this weekend. City Liverpool be fun. I just need Chelsea to start winning games. We need points on the board. The fact that we're below United and the man got a -3 goal difference is disrespectful, in my opinion.
Word.
And yeah, man. As long as we finish above them by the end of the season, I think it'll be respectable enough. I think right now in the table, there's about four, maybe even four teams that I don't think we should be below. I think we should be in that sixth place, maybe in fifth by the end of the season. I think we're better than Villa, United, Brighton, West Ham, and Newcastle in terms of the way we play. But we just need that gunman to finish our chances. Because if we could early in the season, we'd be winning bare games. We'd be having bare points out here. But it is what it is. Poch, I need you to win. No excuses. No centre back at fullback. No, we need to put height. Their man got their DE team out because they got so many injuries. So yeah, we need to wrap their man up at their home. We need to go to St James's Park and take all three because we can't afford these. We did well draws because against City that's fine, but against Newcastle, no, I'm not taking that. We need to slap their man up, silly, and then carry on. And then we got Brighton after that, beat them. Then Man United after that, slap them, and then carry on from that. Yeah, all wins for the rest of the year. That's all I want. And that's all I got to say about that. But it's time. I just like to say, hold that, England, you bummies out here struggling out here in these streets. Gareth Southgate, hold that. You're a scrub. Um, and yeah, who else can any other you know what, international break, hold that, fam. It's boring. You know, apart from Argentina, Brazil, fam, everything else was a waste of my time. Like it was just there. It's like in the background. I didn't even watch any of these games, bummy ass games. Listen, I'm tired of seeing these D-list, E-list nations, you know, in against England. They've got no chance, and then when they do have a chance, it's because our manager's a bum. And the fact of the matter is, if they go Euros or World Cup, they ain't winning it. So I don't know why. Just just do it by seeding. I'll be honest with you. We don't need these international breaks. We don't need these teams to qualify. We know who's qualifying. Yeah, Italy, Spain, and them team there, fam. But yeah, anyway, that's all I gotta say, man. Waste of my time, Nations League and all that bullshit. Yeah, and
Yeah.
also I'd like to finish on the fact that these players are playing too much because of this. Bare injuries. Gavi out for the season, man out for the season all the time, and it's getting ridiculous as well. I think we need to reduce the games, not increase them. And yeah, man, another great episode. And as always, this is Foosball, and we'll be back next week to talk real football, real Premier League stuff. Straight
Oh yeah.
Barclays.
And I do want to say, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, change your representative to Congo. Don't even deliberate or think about it. There's no thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah. When your nationality comes calling, you ditch England and you represent your true heritage.
yeah, man.
Black and proud. That's what you need to do. Represent Congo.
Yeah,
And that's
Cup of
all I gotta
Nations,
say.
fam. That's right, fam. Be there in the huts and when you go on airport to airport, you're in second class, not even you know what I'm saying.
Exactly, fam.
Real
True
struggle out
slums.
here, yeah. Real
Yeah,
struggle.
bro.
African struggle where the pitches are so bad, fam. Man's shooting from 50 yards, but goalkeeper's
Word,
still in the
fam.
net.
Kicking
Yeah,
ball on AstroTurf pitches
yeah,
out here.
yeah, exactly, man. With the people, them. Anyway, and we out. Peace.
Peace.